You probably wouldn't call this the project of the year, or maybe you would. I don't know. But what's very important, friends, is that this project is being developed by the state developer Aldar. This is a very, very important point. Just for a moment, the developer Aldar is currently the second largest in the world after a Chinese developer. Today, friends, I want to tell you about and show you a project, a huge community called Athlon, and specifically, these are the Rise apartments. As for the payment plan, friends, it's just fantastic. The initial payment is 5%. Today, we'll walk through the entire community. I'll tell you why it's important to buy these projects, which is very important. Also, friends, here we have the metro within walking distance, and the location is just 25 minutes from the sea. There are a lot of amenities here, so make yourselves comfortable, settle in, as we're about to thoroughly break down this project in detail. This project was developed with the concept of an active community in mind, meaning it was designed according to the principles of active design with the involvement of professional athletes, wellness experts, and healthy lifestyle specialists. Each of the 8 residences has its own concept: sports, recovery, creativity, or socializing. As for the architecture and master plan, here we have, look, 3 low-rise buildings and 5 high-rise buildings, each with its own purpose. In other words, each has its own amenities. For example, the neon building will serve as our fitness hub. That means energetic workouts. Sayan will be a recovery studio featuring saunas and cold baths. Azul will be a gaming simulator. Til will have a bike workshop, specifically a room for bicycles. The Magenta building will house a music studio. The Foundry building will have a library. These are calm areas, quiet rooms for reading and meditation. The Grid building will feature sports, gaming, and social zones. And the Tempo building will have its own cinema hall. So basically, whatever you prefer, you can choose. But again, you need to pay attention to which direction the apartment faces. So if you're specifically interested in a view over here towards the entire huge community, then of course you should focus on the views. Also, let me remind you that starting from 2 million dirhams, you can already apply for a golden visa. And the developer Aldar is a whole ecosystem that helps you apply for a golden visa after the construction is completed. But if you're interested in getting it earlier, the golden visa is issued for 10 years. Be sure to contact me and we can arrange it for you after you pay about 10 to 20% of the property's value. So this is also a solvable issue. Write to me and we'll work on this as well.
Friends, I have great news for you. I have prepared catalogs of the best projects in the UAE for you. There is real estate both in Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah and Dubai real estate. So follow the link in the description and download any catalog. Well, if you have any questions, write to me on WhatsApp.
Since this is an active community, we will have a lot of sports facilities here, such as wellness labs, which are tracks for movement. Just imagine a 4 to 6 kilometer cycling track. Yes, so you can ride all the way around the entire community without any obstacles. Can you imagine? There will be a 2 kilometer running route plus 7 clubhouses. These are spaces for sports and socializing. What really warms the soul, friends, are restorative treatments like saunas. That means a huge, truly massive spa complex, plus cold pools. Of course, that's very important. At the very least, when you come home from work, you can recover, relax, yes, after such an active work day. For example, I live in a building where a sauna is a must. I specifically chose it and I really like it. It helps me recover in the evening and the next day I feel absolutely great. Another really cool feature will also be available in the community. I've already mentioned that this community was designed by active athletes and they've created HIIT zones here. What does that mean? These are high intensity workouts. This is of course really great if you're an athlete. If you're not an athlete, then of course this won't interest you. There will also be paddle courts and basketball courts. Well, in principle, that's nothing surprising anymore, but still it's very, very convenient and comfortable. And of course, there will be children's playrooms both inside the building and outside, plus splash zones. Now I'll show you right on the community map. They will be right here in the very center. There are swimming pools in almost every single building. Please note, right here, yes, as I keep repeating, there will be pools and children's areas. Right here nearby as well, look, I want to show you a very important feature. This is a huge professional gym that is a fitness center. So you absolutely don't need to go anywhere else. You can work out here comfortably. The ceiling height here will probably be around 8 meters. You can simply invite your personal fitness trainer and work out in complete comfort without having to leave the premises. Every project in Dubai, of course, has gyms and fitness centers, but friends, believe me, this gym truly lives up to the way the developer presents it. Also note that the project will be very green. The developer, Caldara, always likes to landscape their projects, and there are already examples of this. So basically what you see will match reality by about 95%. That's right. As for the entrance areas, pay attention, they're styled like a 5-star hotel, and overall all the amenities are available to absolutely all residences. That means residents of any building can visit any other building. For example, if you live in the building with the movie theater, you can easily go to the sauna in another building. Here you see everything is conveniently connected by the podium. So you exit this building, walk along, and because of the podium here, you can easily move around, whether it's to relax, go to the movie theater, or take your kids to the children's rooms. So everything is designed to be extremely convenient. Here we are in the show apartment. This is just a one-room apartment on display. Look at these calm, creamy colors. Even the bread is sliced. See how nice that is? The developer prepared everything. What do we have here? A cooktop, an oven, quartz. So this is like a show apartment. You see everything here is incredibly neat, remarkably stylish, and entirely crafted from beautiful wood. Of course, it's beautiful. Here's the entryway, as you can see. And here, overall, you have a living room like this. So the scale is huge, 90 square meters for a one-room apartment. Just imagine. That's really cool, of course. Really cool. Let me stand right here in this very corner now to truly show you the impressive scale of this enormous, incredibly spacious one-room apartment. I mean, it's really great when apartments are this big. So look, our spacious one-room apartments will primarily face this particular direction, as you can clearly see, and also this other direction, which is essentially the same orientation. And now I will show you right here as well, just look closely. They will be located in this particular part, precisely here. So essentially you will have the wonderful opportunity to choose the exact direction you would prefer your beautiful apartment to face. They are also readily available here too, for your convenience. Of course, it's interesting to choose either facing the community directly or the side ones. You get it, right? That the most liquid view apartments will be the 2-room and 3-room ones. As for the 2-room apartments, they're also huge, about 136 square meters, give or take, maybe even more. And they'll also be facing this direction as well as these other directions. They'll also have panoramic views of the community here, and you can also choose side apartments to fit your preferences. Some people prefer lower floors, others prefer higher ones. Since this is considered a family community, 2- and 3-room apartments will naturally be in high demand here. And now we're approaching the 3-room apartments. Let me show you the layout now. Take note, these will also have even better views. Here they'll be on the sides, and also here you see in these sections. Now I'll show you right here on this side, these ones will face directly towards the central park, towards us. But the absolute cherry on top of this wonderful offering is the spacious 3-room apartment, complete with its own separate and fully equipped kitchen. Let me show you where they are located. Take a look. See this projection, this part that sticks out? Let me show you closer. Here it is. And further along right here as well. All of these are 3-room apartments, and they end up having almost 5 rooms. Now I'll show you the layout. Please pay attention. There will be a gorgeous dining area, 3 separate bedrooms, plus a kitchen living room. That's really wow. So basically, you have this amazing community, 25 minutes to the sea, 20 minutes to Dubai Mall, to the Burj Khalifa, and 25 minutes to the airport. What more could you want? Can you imagine? And right nearby you'll have a huge shopping and entertainment center. Let's go over to the huge master plan now, and I'll show you in more detail where our project is located. Take a look here. This is a massive master community from the developer Aldar. Here, my friends, we have luxury villas and townhouses, and right within this community is our project Rise. And look, here's something very important. Right here, this is where the metro will be. I'll show you a rendering now to explain why it's so important that it's located here. In general, every resident of, say, remote projects in Dubai has a car, right? So what's the point of the metro? Why do we need the metro? It might seem unnecessary, right? But here's a very important point. If you have a nanny, friends, this is just amazing. Why? Because, for example, most nannies live far from these kinds of communities. They mostly live in Dera or a bit farther away, and it's very convenient when the nanny can take the metro. Can you imagine how much it would cost if you constantly had to call a taxi? That would be a huge expense, believe me. We actually calculated all of this. You see, once you start living in Dubai, you begin to understand and calculate these kinds of nuances. So just imagine you have the metro right here, and you'll also have a crossing here. The nanny just comes, spends time with the kids, and then easily goes home. So basically it's super comfortable. Now let's talk about the amenities. Right here we'll have a huge shopping and entertainment center right next to our project. There's a school nearby as well. Just imagine that, right? There are some really cool architectural buildings here. Next, as you can see, there are also these interesting masterpieces, so to speak. And look, here is in fact our community. It majestically overlooks the entire vast and thriving Athlon community. Please remember this crucial detail, because when we eventually start the process of choosing our specific apartments, we will already be perfectly able to understand from this comprehensive video exactly where everything is conveniently located. By the way, the developer Aldar has a very convenient app for choosing apartments. I'll show it to you now. As you can see, this is where you select the apartments. Now I'll show you this app. Basically, you can give me a clear request. For example, you can say, Oleg, I want a view of the community, right? The view. By the way, this is the app, and take note, this is where the metro will be. You go straight in and end up right in our community. And look, by clicking on this community, we can immediately choose any building here. So for example, if we like this building, right? Let's say that one over there. Let's select it. So it's a very, very convenient app. And we can also play around with the floors. Let's say, for example, let's go to the 14th floor here. So basically, I can send you any offer. All right, let's figure it out now. Well, for example, let's say we want to look at this apartment. Here we go. We can walk around it, stroll around calmly, and step out onto the balcony. Here's the apartment. I'll also send you this floor plan. For example, we go out onto the balcony, and friends, we get this gorgeous view. We can rotate it. See, this is how it will look. There you go. It's very, very convenient. So that's it. We can also walk through the apartment. Here we enter the room. And as for the location, look, I'll show you a big map now so it's clear. Look, here's our huge project, Athlon. And right next to it, you have Palm Jumeirah and immediately Dubai Marina. Here we have the Burj Al Arab. It's absolutely nearby. You just drive out. So basically, it's 20 minutes here. And here we have the Burj Khalifa. Look, downtown, everything is very close. Everything is very close. That is, in this direction, Al Maktoum is a huge airport, the largest in the world. That is about 20 minutes. Very convenient. Well, here it's clear. Jumeirah Island, Dubai Marina, Palm Jumeirah. Let me repeat once again, everything is very, very close. As for the payment plan, friends, it's just fantastic. The initial payment is 5%. The project is scheduled for completion in 29th year, in the 4th quarter, or in the 30th year, in the 1st quarter. So approximately, you pay 60% during the construction period and 40% upon receiving the keys. And what's very important is that you pay, just imagine 5% is the initial payment, then another 5% in 6 months, and another 5% in another 6 months. And only after another 6 months do you start paying 10% each time. It's a really great installment plan. Contact me right away if you want to reserve a great apartment with a beautiful view here. Let's think out loud together for a moment. Why would I personally buy an apartment in this community? Well, first of all, for living. The Dubailand area is currently developing very actively. There are plenty of shopping and entertainment centers nearby, and Dubai Hills is close as well. So basically, it's a very, very well thought out location. It's a promising area. And of course, yes, it's great for living. The first reason. For renting, that is, for long-term rentals, friends, this project is also very profitable. Once the whole community is completed here, tenants will want to live here. So basically, if they work nearby or if they're freelancers who just like to stay at home without going out, even if they work in Dubai, then 25 to 30 minutes is a reasonable commute to get to work. It will also be very convenient for long-term use. So of course it's not suitable for short-term rentals, but for long-term rentals you can easily rent out property here. And what's very important is that you're investing in a government-backed developer, Aldar, which is the monopoly in Abu Dhabi and builds 90% of the city. And Abu Dhabi today is the capital, and it's 6 times larger than Dubai. So by investing in the state developer Aldar, you're securing a reliable future for yourself. And just imagine what kind of neighbors you'll have. You're buying an apartment, and right next to you are villas that were purchased for 15 to 20 million dirhams. So basically communication, getting to know people, and yes, sports, these are joint paddle games. This is of course a huge advantage for meeting new people. It's really great, just awesome. As always, friends, dear investors, I tried to convey the atmosphere of our project. I hope the information was useful, clear, and accessible for you. I always try to clearly and competently show and explain what views, prices, and square footage are available, and so on. I've also prepared catalogs for you where all the projects in the best locations and at the most attractive prices are collected. There you'll find real estate in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, villas, townhouses. Go ahead and download the catalog. If you're interested in this project, you can write to me. You'll find my contact information below in the description or in the pinned comment. I'll get in touch with you and advise you on how to book real estate here in the smartest and most profitable way. Thank you for watching.